In the beginning, before any light pierced the silence, there was no form and no direction. Reality existed in a latent state, like a vast invisible field of possibilities not yet chosen. Book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 2, does not describe a cosmic mistake, but a moment of pure, creative potential. The original text uses the expression Tohu, which many translations reduce to chaos. But here, chaos is not destruction. It is primordial matter in waiting, vibrating at the threshold between what is and what could be. In the scene, the darkness called Chóshêkh does not represent the absence of God, but rather a state of absolute rest, a cosmic pause where everything is about to be born, yet remains in sacred silence. This darkness is not the enemy of light. It is the womb that prepares it. It is the space between breath and word, the moment when consciousness decides to create. Then Tehom appears, the deep. Not a depth of fear, but a womb-like expanse, where realities rest before they manifest. The abyss is the most honest metaphor for the human soul when it stands before the ineffable, that moment when we don't know the next step, but we feel that something wants to emerge. And it is over this abyss that something extraordinary happens. The text says, Ruach Elohim hovered over the waters. Ruach means breath, wind, sacred respiration. But the word used for hover is Merachefet, which describes the delicate movement of a bird warming the egg with heat and presence. This reveals a profound secret. The divine does not correct chaos with force, transform it through proximity. Creation does not arise from control, but from a consciousness that rests upon the unformed with love. The primordial chaos was not suppressed. It was warmed by presence, and this is how universes begin. If, as tradition says, we are made in the image of this creative consciousness, then we also carry this sacred pattern. We were not called to crush chaos, but to hover above it with dignity, with breath, with intention. The inner chaos, that many call failure, may simply be a fertile field, waiting for your conscious presence. When everything feels dark, when the soul feels like Tehom, the human impulse is to fight or flee. But the text invites us to another response. Breathe. Stay. To hover is a profound spiritual act. It means looking at your own abyss without identifying with it, allowing consciousness, like Ruach, to begin reorganizing what once seemed impossible to align. Your personal chaos is not a sign of defeat. It is gestation. Inside it, something is being prepared. You do not need to force creation. Remain present over what is still unformed. This is how reality begins to take shape. If this message resonated with you, consider supporting this journey. Leave a like, subscribe, and share this content with those who also seek consciousness. Let us expand this light. Not out of vanity, but out of purpose. We exist to remind one another of what we came here to be. Book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 2, ceases to be just an ancient verse and becomes a mirror. It shows us that the path is not to eliminate chaos, but to learn how to be with it until light reveals itself. Creation begins when someone chooses to remain, to hover, to breathe, and do truth.